My name is Heather Greene. I'm an ambassador for Glenfiddich Single Malt Scotch, the most awarded single malt Scotch in the world. It's a family-run distillery based in Dufftown, Scotland. And one of the things I've been able to do in this role is travel around the world and teach people about single malt Scotch. And one of the questions I have been asked in every single tasting that I've conducted is, can you add ice or water to your single malt Scotch? And today what we're going to do is discuss 4 different ways to drink Glenfiddich single malt Scotch, neat, with a little bit of spring water, on the rocks, and 1 ice cube. The first thing I do is pour a Glenfiddich 12 into a fluted whiskey glass such as this one. The bulbous bottom actually captures the aroma and focuses up towards our nose for maximum enjoyment. Now, one of the things I like to do in this case is really kind of take note what the original distillery characteristics are of that whiskey. In this case, in a Glenfiddich 12, we're looking at pear, some beautiful notes of vanilla, maybe some fresh cut grass, a tiny bit of oak. Enjoy that and let that sit for a little while, and then I add a tiny bit of fresh spring water. Just that much. In Scotland, we call that releasing the serpents. And in this case, we're actually going to be enhancing or popping the aromas and basically open up the flavors for us to enjoy. So I get more vanilla, more pear, maybe some new hidden distillery characteristics I might not have had in that first dram of whiskey. Now, on to the more controversial issue, whether or not we can put ice in our single malt. I actually love my Glenfiddich 12 on ice. When I advise putting ice in a single malt Scotch glass, or in this case the Glenfiddich 12, I really recommend a nice, fresh, large square ice cube rather than chips or shavings. Now, what some people will say is that what happens when you put that ice into your single malt Scotch, you're going to be condensing the flavors and really losing that complexity or aroma. To that I say that is true. However, what you lose in that aroma and complexity, you're actually going to be gaining in a lot of that freshness and a nice, smooth, silky feel you get with Scotch on the rocks. Now finally, a lot of people love to have 1 ice cube in their single malt Scotch. What this really does is chill it down slightly rather than completely drop the temperature that the rocks glass does. And then as it melts, you're really getting to the point that you would if you just added that spring water. I want you to enjoy your whiskey in any way that you see fit. I'm Heather Greene for Glenfiddich, the most awarded single malt Scotch.